All right, ladies and gents, welcome to a 1v1 game. We have two players around the 2K elo. Players I'll talk a little bit about. Players I'll introduce if you've never heard of them. As 2K is very quality elo, it's like top couple hundred in the world. Some of those players have even been near that top 100 mark. You've got plenty of talent, but not quite that name recognition because they haven't been, in the top like 50 or 60 or so, which I typically cover. In the red, we've got Tommy Am. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know everything about this individual. This guy's slightly below 2K. I believe this is a Turkish player, but my memory could be failing me there. And then in the blue, we have Anti-Demon, who is a Brazilian player who's been around a long time. Know him pretty well, and he's a very aggressive player, as most Arabia players are, of course. I do want to say this as well. Obviously, we have people watching on my stream right now. This is a little bit of a test. We've just changed some things with my setup and increased things with the setup. But in the event that you're watching this later on YouTube, in the event that you have this in front of you, you can now go to your quality settings for every single thing that I will upload from here on out, and you will have a 4K viewing option. That's right. Age of Empires 2, 23-year-old game at this point, in 4K. Try it out if you can. And then you also have 1440 as an option. And then, of course, everything else you had before. I cannot stream that. What I can do, though, is record that. And so the goal for me is always to constantly make things better and more exciting and more crisp for you guys. So that's what we did, as well as getting used to a new microphone. And the main thing there is just going to be how close do I need this to my face? Is my audio peaking from time to time? That's all stuff that we'll adjust so you guys don't need to stress too much. Anyways, we've got a classic matchup here as far as civs go. I like New Civilizations. New Civilizations can be fun. But also there are times where I'm just kind of over it. I'm just oh God, that's too many Shravamsha riders for me this week. So we've got Franks for Tommy. Civilization, great with their farms, great with their berries, great with their stable units and cheap castles. And then here we've got Anti-Demon, who's playing as the Mongols. Again, two of these civs have been around a long time. Or these two civs, excuse me, have been around a long time. I think the notable thing in this matchup, though, is that Franks are more suited overall. In the mid-game, Franks feel a little bit stronger than the Mongols. Mongols, as I like to say, are a little bit more power spiky. So Mongols are top tier in early feudal because of all the faster hunt they have right now. And they're also really good in Dark Age because of that, and the scouting too, as you can see here from Anti-Demon. And then they don't really feel unbeatable until they get a few castles down later on in the game and are making Mangudai. And actually, the Franks can struggle a little bit against Mangudai. I used to play this player named Xiaohai all the time. He's a Chinese player. And by the way, to the couple people on YouTube that have been trying to help me pronounce that person's name, I haven't really taken your advice, and I forget exactly how you said I say that. I apologize. But anyways, said player used to play Mongols only. And I used to like to play as the Franks. And I'll tell you what, man, as big a lead as you can feel like you can get with the Franks against Mongols, it feels great until the Mangudai come out. Franks do not have a good option there. And that's always been a little bit of the weakness of the Franks, is just their archer range line is not so good. So we're just going to ease in here to the rest of the game. I noticed this main gold is very much in the back. This stone is very much in the back too. That's really nice. But obviously the rest of the map is still pretty open here. Blue now scouting red. Very good scouting. Thank you, Mongol bonus. You've got the wood line. You've got the berries. And the golds. And the stone. Everything that you would want to look for. Anti-Demon has seen. And then Tommy, of course, not working with a scouting bonus. I think being a little bit greedier with some deer pushing, is now scouting and is searching to see what his opponent's going to do. And his opponent's going to do something that you don't see every day. You think a lot of food sometimes, and you think Mongols are going to go scouts. This is a little bit more common at a high elo, the fast Mongols man-at-arms. Let's see if Red scouts that gold there. And Red's going to, he's going to see the gold. So 3 to gold could mean just straight archers. But usually you want to find that barracks now. And you can tell Blue's okay, I've been spotted. So we're going to move out. And we're going to see if this guy walls. And you can see Red already pre-walled here. Red's pre-walling the wood line. And we'll see if Red wants to pre-wall anything else. This is interesting, right? Like, Red's he's going to see the barracks now, but that could easily just be for archers. So he hasn't actually seen the militia, which, in my opinion, is why he hasn't walled any of this yet. And you could tell Blue's like, I'm not going to let you do that. And now Red sees this at the moment. Now, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you could zoom in. You could see what 4K looks like. But, I mean, on my screen, it's looking pretty freaking cool. And anyways, I mean, you've just taken the berries away from Franks, essentially, if you're Blue. So a very good start for him. Obviously, good job not to lose any villagers. You do get the farm upgrade for free. But he doesn't even have scouts yet. And we don't have Archer follow-up yet either here from Anti-Demon. But we haven't even hit the 10-minute mark, and he's got Man-at-Arms and a scout here already. Good pressure. If he'd expect archers, why would he small wall? Well, that's the thing, is because my point here is that he didn't scout in time, and so he didn't small wall because he was expecting archers. Oh, maybe you're asking, why did he small wall here? I mean, in general, you see a lot of players at the high level pre-wall if they feel like their scouting is delayed. So that's what happened here, essentially. I think that's why he probably placed the Palisades. Okay. Things looking good. We're going to have the rather late range here for Blue. Red's being annoying here with the scout. We'll see if Blue reacts to that. Spearman sent out here to try and kill that scout. That's going to run back home. And action is going to build here. I'm not the biggest fan of how indecisive Blue has been at the moment. He's been a little uncertain. Like here, he could have attacked the house, forced his opponent to make a new house. Didn't really do that. Here, he could have taken the mill. You take the mill down, he's got to make a new mill. I mean, maybe it just doesn't give him the satisfaction, you know? Maybe it just doesn't make him happy to take out a building and he wants to kill units. So the value could have been a little stronger there, but he's going to head forward with his Spearman. And he's pretty much picking up on the fact that Red very much wants to kill this at the moment. And, oh, look at that. That tree's going to be over-chopped. There's still a hole there, right? There's definitely still a hole there. Blue, it seemed like he picked up on the fact that there was going to be an overchop, though. And this is before the Spearman arrives. Red takes the fight with the Frank scouts. More HP on the scouts. And it's weird. This scout's like hitting through his buddy's back. And Red gets the clear. Not too bad. Obviously, it looks like he's had a tough time managing certain things. Loses a scout there. He did get housed a moment ago. He hasn't been able to structure his base how he might like, but we'll see if he can track the follow-up from Blue. Blue's got a lot of farms right now. And normally you see players like really rush the archery range and really rush fletching and things like that, but he went up so fast. I think he had 18 villagers when he went for Man-at-Arms, and oh god, Red is falling apart now. He probably thought he had that on this group, so he's really confused that that scout was out in the open. And here he comes for a counterattack. Blue's going to show up. Blue defends that with one Spearman nicely, and now the archers are coming forward, and Blue's really punishing the fact that Red is not adding an archery range, not trying to get any skirmishers out. This is what the Mongol Man-at-Arms can do, though, right? It's like, normally fast Frank scouts is the way to go. Just wave after wave after wave of military. And now you've got Spearman here as well, and this could be a very quick game. That should be a dead villager. These villagers actually might not be able to finish the tower. I've done this enough times to know if the player actually were to focus, like, one archer on each vill there, the vills would never be able to stop, but it would take a while to kill the vills that way. I can put the elo with their names if I feel like it. So, I'm sorry, Red Clifford, I don't have the elo with their names up here. I wish the Capture Age would have it for live games, but I've requested that a lot, and it has never happened. Well, okay, so Red's got to leave this wood line, and now head over here. Pretty inefficient economically, but he's going to add skirms. And oh my goodness, he's got so many scouts. He must realize now he's under pressure. He's like, okay, this has not been good for me, so I've got to get some counter damage in. This is Anti-Demon's point of view. Now, he has Spearman, and it looks like he spotted some movement on the front. He definitely knows that this is coming. That's some amazing awareness from him. It feels like there's a hole there. Sometimes I don't even have to see it. I just sense it because I've seen weird situations with any hills in Age of Empires 2. Feels like if the scouts were going to do damage, they would have gone in already. And now Red's going to see one spearman. And okay, this is good work. Really good work. I didn't even pick up on the fact that what he was doing there. He definitely should kill one villager here. It's just, will he focus down one villager? They just kind of, he was on attack stance there, so the units will spread out. Meanwhile, though, we've got some skirms on this side. And this is pretty crazy Arabia stuff, guys. Like, lots of movements, lots of transitions. We've seen spearmen, men-at-arms, skirmishers, archers, scouts. We've seen virtually every unit you would want to see in Feudal Age so far. So if you're ever wondering why people like to play Arabia, it's because they, you know, not every game's like this, of course. But a lot of different things can happen. A lot of different strategies can be played. And of course can lead to very stressful situations, as I'm sure a lot of you know. Also, what's up, Max? What's up, Nikhil? Hello, Robert. Welcome. What's up, Surge? This is not low elo. No, this is 2K plus. Or around 2K, I should say. Red has decided to pull home, which is an interesting strategy, but he really wants to deal with whatever archers he can. And at this point, it's looking like it's worth it. He could have moved forward, of course. There's spearmen moving forward for blue. On their own, though, which is probably not what you'd want. And we've had 2 villager kills in this game from Anti-Demon, who's the player with the higher rank. But Franks are Franks, man. And Red finds his way on the way to Castle Age. I'm wondering what the players are going to commit to as far as military, though. Like, blue is not making any archers right now. That could be intentional. And red is not making any skirms. If this was me, I would stop making skirms and my opponent would keep making archers, and I would really struggle against the crossbowman wave. Movable. Facebook gaming doesn't allow 4K streaming. I should check, to be honest. But I'm 99% certain the only platform that does 4K streaming is YouTube. I know Twitch doesn't. Because in the past I did 1440, and even that, like, kind of is not cool. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the archers and the spearmen are going to try and get some value, but we've got double stable. And there's a very good chance, guys. People have been going step lancers more and more, especially with the Mongols. There's a very good chance we actually see some step lancers here. I would personally like to see a mix of step lancers and maybe knights. Maybe camels, if you think your opponent's going to make knights, because that's what you would expect from the Franks. And this scout is just going to whittle down the skirmishers, which means this army, they can move forward with confidence that they should just... Or let me just say this. They can move forward with commitment. I'm not sure about confidence, because the reason you commit is the fact that this army doesn't really have a life long term. So they will not be confident. But you should just force a fight as quickly as possible with this army. Doesn't look like it'll ever be upgraded. I like this from Red. You're really securing the back area. Red also doing this as well. Going for +2 immediately on the Knights. Knights are going to be strong, and Blue's going to go for Camels. Remember, Blue didn't have to make a tower. So Blue will be able to drop a town center. And that is actually a town center and then a new lumber camp because of the hills here. Would have preferred he place it out here or here. But in his mind, I think he realized I need wood right now more than anything. And that would be correct. Okay, another town center as well. So going for the eco approach here. And again, this army, it does a good job at distracting, but it's probably not going to accomplish too much. Might lead to Red feeling a little confident right now. Also, to anyone listening to me right now, is the mic sounding fine? Does it sound like I'm too far, too close? Does it sound normal? Let me know. I've heard, normally if there's an issue, someone says something. So I assume everything's clean. I hope video is clean as well. And later on with the 4K, you can just enjoy these beautiful, beautiful villagers on YouTube. I'm muted. Oh, yeah? I'm muted? Yeah, that's a good one. Never heard that one before. All right, sweet stuff. Scout goes down. Sad times for that scout and his family members. Sad thing for me right now is that Blue forgot horse color. That's like... There's a common misconception with horse color from a lot of viewers out there. People think you just have to have it all the time. Off of how he played Feudal Age, very, very poor to get horse color, actually, because you can't afford other things. But it's normally an upgrade you want to get while you're on the way to Castle Age behind that type of pressure. And you can tell he's trying to break in with defensive units. So if he were to even make it in here, normally there's not much you can do with it. But actually, it's going to be amazing. We'll see, of course. Red, only on one town center, has fallen behind Invils. And this army went out to do some damage. And Blue's just been ready. Speak of the devil, there's horse color. I mean, even just taking Red off of his gold would be a huge success here. Taking any nice trades there against the Knights. You do, though, have more upgrades for Red. So that's good. And Red's also got a monk behind here. Not a fan of how he took this engagement. I think it could have been much cleaner here. But he is going to convert a camel, and he does have the numbers. And so he will clear this, and Blue will have to worry about the next wave. We don't have any stone being mined right now by Blue. Definitely something you want to think about with the Mongols. You can't just commit to camels. They do get heavy camel, but the Franks are good with melee units, so they could switch into pikemen. Better than before. Always been a bit too low. Okay, cool, cool. You mean like the audio in general, or you mean my mic? Also, hello, Endurance. Okay, Knights on the way. +2 armor. Okay, I think Blue recognizes I'm really far behind here. Or sorry, not +2 armor, +2 attack. And when I said Blue, I totally meant Red, because my brain just doesn't work. No amount of tech changes can change my brain, sadly. But villagers will melt to this. It's just a matter of how many villagers melt. And there's quite a few. I mean, if I don't see camels, I'd be diving underneath TCs. Red's got to be looking for damage. He's behind right now. The Blue's camels are going to come home. This is good. Stay underneath that TC. Kill what you can. And this is also good from Blue. Got the color right this time. It's like hop in and out. Like, no, you're safe. And then they were like, oh, thanks for picking me. Boom, you're out of the TC. Just play that game constantly. Those are some really good snipes there. Also, pulling these knights away. Oh, pulling these camels away. That was intentional there. Again, I don't know about a lot about Red. I think it's a Turkish player. It's definitely a name I recognize. I just don't know the details. But 2 TCs now for Red behind this. And while the camel number is pretty high for Blue, and that's going to be a factor. And a nice quick walling there. Definitely keeps himself in this game. All right, Knights are pulling back. Obviously, we're going to have a few monks out here for Red as well. If you've got 3 monks with this number of Knights that you have, you're going to be completely fine. Gets a conversion, obviously could heal up as well, right? All right, so from Red's perspective, the scouting was the important thing we talked about earlier. He has seen his opponents on stone, so you could always try and deny that. And then you also have the other golds over here. So those are your target areas. I think a lot of people watching are going to think, well, wouldn't you want to place a castle here because it denies stone and gold? Yeah, but maybe not right away. Like, you want to fight into a castle on his face if you feel like you're behind. He's producing a lot of army right now. But Blue also has a lot of camels. And I think the tricky thing is just the monks. Are the monks going to be next to the army? The players who are ahead oftentimes are going to try and get relics. You can see Blue's doing that there. He's going to get an upgrade here, which he probably should. He hasn't had full armor. Armor doesn't really matter to me as much. The attack's actually probably the go-to tech. But if I'm this monk, well, if I'm the monk, I go to the monastery and then I hide in the corner. But the monk should join the party and try and convert with his friends if he wants the people to survive. Here we go. So you want to pull a couple knights to go after the monks if you're Red. Half that group didn't even fight there, which is really weird. Here come the villagers. Here come the villagers. You've got monks healing on both sides. Who's going to win this fight? It looks like Red is winning it. And that means the castle could go up to deny the stone. It's so close. It's just the HP for Blue more than anything. Remember those monks, guys. If the conversions would be there, it could always swing. And Blue's going to use the market now, try and drop his own castle. Villagers here are exposed, though. The monks are going to go down. We know Red's castle is going to go up. And what a game. This is a great game, and Blue's falling apart a little bit. You have to expect maybe 4 or 5 villagers go down here. And again, if this castle's up, it denies this stone and denies a lot of the eco here from his opponent. Great comeback from Red. Again, I wish I knew more details on him. We'll just say he's a really good player. And now, I think your next castle, guys, or at least your army, wants to control this region. Let's see if Red can pick up on that. Obviously, it feels very natural to go this direction. I don't even mind just sitting here and taking out the monastery first. I don't mind that at all. Blue is thinking, well, I might as well start massing the Mangudai, which is also really nice. So good decisions all around there. Red's using his monks perfectly. 3rd town center at home, guys. So he's going to have more and more eco flowing. These villagers, I don't know what they're going to do. But I almost looks like he wants to drop a TC. Okay, so another monk has to die. What? Okay. I'm sure Red misclicked that. Red, don't forget about these vills. I feel like these vills are really important. That'd be a really good TC spot. And don't forget about this area, too. You can see Blue's made it out over here. There's the TC. So I will say, it's really easy to have tunnel vision when you're playing. And Red's just like, send more army to where I already have the army lead and leave it at that. But he's finally starting to switch over to the other side. And Blue just doesn't have the army to be able to defend on all sides. But he's got enough here to make it awkward for Red to run in, I think. But man, is this so important. Remember, Blue had the lead pretty much this entire game. Red had to abandon his berries. The Franks are the Franks, as we say. The eco's solid. And Red's going to take a fight here. I feel like if that TC's garrisoned, I think the TC definitely, with Bod Canero, is going to help out there. It was a bit rough there for Blue. Obviously, he's stressed at the moment. Maybe didn't even react to that. Oh, man, Red's going to take it. Anti-Demon's falling apart. He did react. And now this army has to pull away because it's weak. And we'll get to see if the Mangudai can make a difference here. Also, the food count's good enough for Blue where maybe Blue could actually make it up to the Imperial Age with worse economy. All right. Well, Colin, I don't know if you're nuts on this particular topic. Appreciate the feedback, by the way. But I can tell you, if you're watching me talk about a 23-year-old game, you are nuts. So yeah, you're absolutely nuts, just not in the way that you were expecting. 34-3 Eco KD. And there probably is going to be one more here. There was one more. So 35 now, villagers killed in this game. I think the way you want to win this is just take out the castles. Drop more castles so you can make trebs and just continue to push with knights. There's a reason people pick the Franks at mid to low elo is because you can just focus on your economy. You can just focus on the knights and just drop castles. You don't usually need to tech switch. Should you tech switch in some situations? For sure. Definitely. Not sure if this is a situation. This monk gets a conversion. We'll end up paying the price, though, and we'll end up going down. You notice Blue actually getting full armor now. So he's got full Castle Age armor on his camels. And probably just really wants to secure the sides of the map, right? Realizes that the losses were heavy. Probably still feels like the eco's good enough. And that the Civ matchup's good enough. But the problem... Oh, Blue's even making Batards here. Which actually could be really important. I think a lot of how this game ends depends on if Blue spots this. Because I think the Camels and the Mangudai could actually take a pretty decent fight right now. Then again, saying all that, Red's just making so many knights. He's got 17 with 10 more on the way right now. And Blue, he's not going to be able to get the mass. And he's not... Whoa, wait a second. Again, you can tell the stress is real. That would have been a nice denial. He probably sees it now. Okay, so the camels are hitting the castle now. I mean, what do you do, right? Like, if you take the vills, there's too many of them. And if you don't take the army, you probably die in the Imperial Age anyways. He's trying to take the vills. That answers our question. Camels are also coming in. So it's like camels against knights. Mangadai against villagers. Great job from Red. It's like he chose the perfect amount here. And this is at 95%. And that's going to go up, guys. That's going to go up. Cavalier's going to come in. This castle over here could go down to petards, but I don't know if there's enough. And I mean, what do you do to stop from getting raided to death on this side? Red wins the game. Again, he was a lower ranked player. About 1980, I think. Anti-Demon about 2080. So 100 elo difference there. And what a great game. What a great game. You know, blue at the town center's faster. Like, there was just a lot of things in this game where you're just thinking, like, blue's winning the race to this. But I think, honestly, what ended up making the difference was his recognition that he was behind, his focus on upgrades and numbers, and the perfect castle drop spot. This was the spot. Again, if he dropped it here or here, I guess, like, in theory, he could have tried to drop it here. But I think even if you drop it here, your opponent is still going to have decent access to resources. And more importantly, they're going to have access to the stone. So he denied the stone from the Mongols, and then like soon after shifted over to check the other stone. I think where the mistakes were made for blue, honestly, he was just a little late with upgrades. If he would have had 2 or 3 more camels in the original fight, it would have been good. But also just 1 or 2 more monks. That's the sad thing, is like, if he had 4 more units, he already would have won the game at this point. At least that's what it feels like, though, of course, we don't exactly know. So, it wasn't the best game I've ever seen, but it was a really good game. And this is ultimately a test for those that didn't pick up on that. Obviously, testing the stream. But we're going to hit this up on YouTube as well. And this will be available in 4K. That's right. Everything, assuming everything continues to go according to plan, will be available in 4K on YouTube. So, check it out if you can. I know a lot of people watch on YouTube. And a lot of people watch on their like television or all these different devices. So, to have more options is better, in my opinion. So, yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Obviously, shout out to Willis, who's like in the other room. Oh, I just smacked my mic. He's in the other room right now, actually, and has kind of helped us get everything set up. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to record in 4K. And for anyone who likes to watch in 1080p or my 360p gang out there, you're still going to have those options on YouTube, obviously. So, cool stuff. All right, here's a look at the KD if you're curious. Obviously, you probably saw the most units created this game. Just knights. There were skirms, like maybe 5 skirms at one point. I think there was 1 spearman. Shout out to the spearman. Let's not forget about him. But yeah, even the eco was a little bit better for blue there. It's always tricky when you're under pressure. A lot of your new villagers are being sent to wood. So there are many cases where someone has collected more resources, but you'll notice it results in something like this. This is when a player is getting raided. They'll have a lot more wood, but they won't have as much of the other resources as they need. GG.